set off with the few that return come back with stories. Stories of powerful shamans, of warriors with poisoned arrows, of trees so tall they blotted out the sun, spiders that ate birds, snakes that swallowed men whole, and a river that boiled. All this became a childhood memory. Then years passed. I'm working on my PhD at SMU, trying to understand Peru's geothermal energy potential, when I remember this legend, and I began asking that question. Could the boiling river exist? I asked colleagues from universities, the government, oil, gas, and mining companies, and the answer was unanimous no. And this makes sense. You see, boiling rivers do exist in the world, but they're generally associated with volcanoes. You need a powerful heat source to produce such a large geothermal manifestation. And as you can see from the red dots here, which are volcanoes, we don't have volcanoes in the Amazon, nor in most of Peru, so it follows we should not expect to see a boiling river. Telling this same story at a family dinner, my aunt tells me, but no one days. I've been there. I've swum in that river. Then my uncle jumps up. No, Andres, she's not kidding. You see, you can only swim in it after a very heavy rain. And it's protected by a powerful shaman. Your aunt, she's friends with his wife. Despite all my scientific skepticism, I found myself hiking into the jungle guided by my aunt, over 700 kilometers away from the nearest volcanic center, and, well, honestly, mentally preparing myself to behold the legendary warm stream of the Amazon. But then I heard something. A low surge that got louder and louder as we came closer. It sounded like ocean waves constantly crashing. And as we got closer, I saw smoke, vapor coming up through the trees. And then I saw this. I immediately grabbed for my thermometer. And the temperatures, the average temperatures in the river were 86 degrees C. This is not quite the 100 degrees C boiling close enough. The river flowed hot and fast. I followed it upriver. It was led by the shaman's apprentice to the most sacred site on the river. And this is what's bizarre. It starts off as a cold stream. And here, at this site, is the home of the Yakumami, mother of the waters, a giant serpent spirit who brings hot and cold water. And here, we find a hot spring mixing with cold stream water underneath the protective motherly jaws, and thus bringing their legends to life. The next morning I woke up and I asked for tea. I was handed a mug, a tea bag, and pointed towards the river. To my surprise, the water was clean and had a pleasant taste, which is a little weird for geothermal systems. What was amazing is that the locals had always known about this place, and that I was by no means the first outsider to see it. It was just part of their everyday life. They drink its water, they take in its vapor, they cook with it, clean with it, even make their medicines with it. I met the shaman, and he seemed like an extension of the river in this jungle. He asked for my intentions and listened carefully. Then, to my tremendous relief, I was freaking out, to be honest with you. A smile began with a snake across his face, and he just laughed. I had received the shaman's blessing to study the river, on the condition that after I take the water samples and analyze them in my lab, wherever I was in the world, waters back into the ground, so that, as the shaman said, the waters could find their way back home. I've been back every year since that first visit in 2011, and the field work has been exhilarating, demanding, and at times dangerous. One story was even featured in the National Geographic magazine. I was trapped on a small rock about the size of a sheet of paper, in sandals and board shorts, in between an 80-degree sea river and a hot spring that, well, looked like this, close to boiling. And on top of that, it was Amazon rain forest, pouring in. Couldn't see a thing. The temperature differential made it all white. It was white out. Intense. Now, after years of work, I'll soon be submitting my geophysical and geochemical studies for publication. And I'd like to share today with all of you here on the TED stage for the first time some of these discoveries. But first off, it's not a legend. Surprise. When I first started the research, the satellite imagery was too low resolution to be used, but there were just no good maps. Thanks to the support of the Google Earth team, I now have this. Not only that, the indigenous name of the river, Shanai Kimpishka, boiled with the heat of the sun, indicating that I'm not the first to wonder why the river boils, and showing that humanity has always sought to explain the world around us. So, why does the river boil? It actually took 3 years to get that footage. Fault-fed hot springs. As we have hot blood running through our veins and arteries, so too the earth has hot water running through its cracks and faults. Where these arteries come to the surface, these earth arteries, will get geothermal manifestations, fumaroles, hot springs, and in our case, the boiling river. What's truly incredible, though, is the scale of this place. Next time you cross the road, think about this. The river flows wider than a two-lane road along most of its path. It flows hot for 6.24 kilometers. Truly impressive. There are thermal pools larger than this TED stage, and that waterfall that you see there is 6 meters tall, and all with near boiling water. We mapped the temperatures along the river, and this was by far the most demanding part of the fieldwork. And the results were just awesome. Sorry, the geoscientist didn't be coming out. And it showed this amazing trend. You see, the river starts off cold, and then heats up, cools back down, heats up, cools back down, heats up again, and then has this beautiful decay curve until it smashes into this boulder. Now, I understand not all of you are geothermal scientists, so to put it in a, more everyday terms, everyone loves coffee. Yes? No. Your regular cup of coffee, 54 degrees C. An extra hot one, well, 60. So put in coffee shop terms, the boiling river looks like this. There you have your hot coffee. Here you have your extra hot coffee. You can see that there's a big point there where the river is still hotter than even the extra hot coffee. And these are average water temperatures until these in the dry season to ensure the purest geothermal temperatures. But there's a magic number here that's not being shown, and that number is 47 degrees C. Because that's where things start to hurt. And I know this from very personal experience. Above that temperature, you don't want to get in that water. You need to be careful. It can be deadly. I've seen all sorts of animals fall in, and what's shocking to me is the process is pretty much the same. So they fall in, and the first thing to go are the eyes. Eyes apparently come very quickly. They turn this milky white color. The stream is carrying them. They're trying to swim out, but their meat is cooking on bones. It's so hot. So they're losing power, until finally they get to a point where hot water goes into their mouths and they cook from the inside out. a bit sadistic, aren't they? Jeez. Leave them marinating for a little longer. What's, again, amazing are these temperatures. They're similar to things that I've seen on volcanoes all over the world, and even super volcanoes like Yellowstone. But here's the thing. The data is showing that the boiling river exists independent of volcanism. It's neither magmatic or volcanic in origin. And again, it's over 700 kilometers away from the nearest volcanic center. How can a boiling river exist like this? I've asked geothermal experts and volcanologists for years, and I'm still unable to find another non-volcanic geothermal system of this magnitude. It's unique. It's special on a global scale. So, still, how does it work? Where do we get this heat? There's still more research to be done to better constrain the problem and better understand the system. But from what the data is telling us now, it looks to be the result of a large hydrothermal system. Basically, it works like this. So the deeper you go into the earth, the hotter it gets. We refer to this as the geothermal gradient. The waters could be coming as far away as glaciers in the Andes and seeping down deep into the earth and coming out to form the boiling river after getting heated up from that geothermal gradient. All due to this unique geologic setting. Now, we found that in and around the river, this is working with colleagues from National Geographic, Dr. Spencer Wells and Dr. John Eisen from UC Davis, we genetically sequenced the extremophile life forms living in and around the river and have found new life forms, unique species living in the boiling river. But again, despite all of these studies, all of these discoveries, and the legends, a question remains. What is the significance of the boiling river? What is the significance of this stationary cloud that always hovers over this patch of jungle? And what is the significance of a detail in a childhood legend? To the shaman in this community, it's a sacred site. To me, as a geoscientist, it's a unique geothermal phenomenon. But to the illegal loggers and cattle farmers, it's just another resource to exploit. And to the Peruvian government, it's just another stretch of unprotected land ready for development. My goal is to ensure that whoever controls this land understands the boiling river's uniqueness and significance. Because that's the question. What is significance? And the thing there is, we define significance. It's us. We have that power. We are the ones who draw that line between the sacred and the trivial. And in this age, where everything seems mapped, measured, and studied, in this age of information, I remind you all, the discoveries are not just made in the black void of the unknown, but in the white noise of overwhelming data. There remains so much to explore. We live in an incredible world. So go out. Be curious. Because we live in a world where shamans still sing to the spirits of the jungle. Where rivers do boil. And where legends do come to life. Thank you very much.
From that down.
of the rivers, we usually think of the ocean, which is why not explore as the discussions that we on them. But 2011, there's national decision around John boiling. You know what? It's really good that it's just people who were moving around. But it seems interesting enough that people should know that, right? So to give you a quick answer on this page, again, how to characteristics of the Amazon River, you can see economic status, many people who live near the boiling part of the river. It's to have it affect their lives. Because it would traverse with a boiling river and you could just walk out there and have access to boiling water. I don't know what your life.
There's like coffee in there.
There's tea that you would get in there. Oh, restaurant? Yeah. All right. There are some extremophiles, archaea, weird bacterial-like things living in it, but they're not harmful to humans. But anything that would be at a temperature, so because it would be harmful, is dead.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah. They basically, their water is too boiled, so you could make it. Depends on how far you are from the source, where the water is coming out of those cracks in the ground, and then what season of the year, so there's a mix of these cold streams, so the streams and the remember that chart with the coffee? It's like it's way hotter than hot coffee on a lot of food. Certainly enough to kill most things even below the hot coffee. Again, exceptions to some like unique life forms that we found only there in that boiling river. But when the temperature cools down, those organisms don't do particularly well like that. You've got like 1 minute to answer that, and then I will go over our rough draft and example this project. And I was just looking for a 1 minute answer. You can write more if you want, but you don't have to be on detail list. More of the notice, revision. And I guess if you're in the Amazon, put in the back of your box, we can talk about this in front. That was to like get all the information you need to put into the not necessarily. Find one good site that has all the information, you can go to one. You can Google. Go around and look at sources. And it has a link to software. Was that part? Okay. So, to do this part of the assignment, the rough draft, you should really have your research finished. If you have not finished your research, you should follow that link. And go back to the instructions on the research. Which I will do briefly. There's two very important things that come into my mind. Which is, you have to pick a river from this list. These are your river options. You want to use other rivers. These are major rivers where you're going to find
Those aren't good ones.
So use big rivers that I've provided now.
But you will be able to get good shallow sources.
And see if you endorse it. You have to have a work side effect. You do not have a work side effect with your sources. This is your opinion and not a research. I'm asking you to do research and you don't say
You got your information from, and you're doing and sharing your opinion, and you're willing to get
graded as such because it's okay. So keep track until you got your information. So we'll do a question. I have in the past taken the vote or one of the other. The research page or the rough draft.
as grade secretary. I'm not going to do that this year.
Allison wants to know that for this week. Or for me. Anyway, now let's talk about the rough
Yeah,
draft.
and you actually doesn't need. So,
Your presentation, okay, using Google Earth or Google Maps satellite view.
screen grab, geological features of your river,
Including an example of
or
an
the meanders,
Now, an example of an optical rate. That's geographical information.
information about your river, I will pretty much essentially what I want. There.
But information about your river.
Use of early civilization,
Those civilization can, information about their use of the river. Modern, about their location of the river.
modern use of the river by people, including the on the
And the presentation should be visually fluent, aka you see and see pictures. If you read it as just a white page, you will usually see what it's about. So, sample one.
Yes.
Applied science teacher. Or a river that you can't read.
small river.
Salt River. Salt River has also been called pronounced by the Florida people, or Pima people. How can you answer that? How do you
The Thai people, the Blue River, the river goes at Rio de los Tacos or Rio Salado.
Notice I did not just do one
One
name
name and one translation to Spanish, not just Rio Grande or Grande de Monte. More people have lived there than just the current people and one other civilization. Built on the mix.
but that is a part that is going to be right.
Salt River geography. Located in Arizona, USA, in Maricopa County, 200 miles, 100 and some kilometers long, watershed, and drainage basin, 13,700 square miles, or 35,000 square kilometers. All three of these are required parts. How long is the river? How big is the watershed? Or what countries exactly are specified in all the accounts? All three are required.
The Salt River has 11
Major
major
tributaries. KP, River, Summit.
Either a list of the major tributaries or a list of the town many tributaries, depends on the river, is a required part. There's also an image of the watershed here.
Notice,
How we have this line. You understand the area.
when you're getting a picture of the drainage basin or watershed, it should have an outline because again, watershed is in the air.
Where all of the water in the area goes. So if it doesn't say that whole area.
Not a watershed.
Salt River begins in the White Mountains.
It's in Arizona, where the White and Black River is going. In the
Beginning and end of the river, again, required for
irrigation canals to Fremont Pond and Middle.
That's been modernized and are still used today to get water to here. See the dotted line ones?
Those are the current
Canals, solid black ones, the one,
either we have built
right alongside or
directly on top of.
the ones built by the people that live in the
Follow goes to the Hector area, first modern river crossing, we added bridge in 1915, and man-made modification.
Started with lighting with the couple of drinking water, and again, most people raise the foundation.
Foundations to make it this kind of.
4 major dams and reservoirs.
You should go to the
Reservoir, those are the big part of man-made modification. Roosevelt Dam, 11, Major Dam, 27, one was Rock Dam, 5, Present Dam, other general uses, lower salt river, very popular for tubing, upper salt river reservoirs, all popular for boating, and and that's it. What is the thing that is missing that I said is very important? Had to have sources. This was made before the source requirement does not have the sources listed there. If this one was turned in without the sources, no. It is not. It is otherwise a very good presentation. If you do have to say you have them, it's not. So, if you scroll below the presentation, it has the list of things you can go through. It is the same things that are on the research paper. I believe it's the exact same order. So maybe that's what it was. Watershed per mountain, number of tributaries, and the grand basin. So social station would be like the last. Important biological and ecological information. Of meander, Oxbow Lake. Names of early civilizations, how they used the river, where they were on the river. Modern communities, man-made modifications, information about river crossing. Their modifications are largely going to be flooding. River crossing, river. And then again, information down here, you have to know where to cite it is. There is no proof, the information is out. You get this back. Notice, we are stopping and approaching here. A presentation is a required part of this. Presentation in front of the class is not required. You can do it